So, if you don't know, if you already know, or maybe if you just kind of know, I am a huge fan of Taylor Swift. I went to go see her in concert last year. Woo woo! Also had a huge panic attack there. It was probably one of the best concerts I've ever been to. I am obsessing over this new album because it's just so rich with poetic lyrics and metaphorical journeys that I'm just like being lost and swept into. So I really, really, really would love to break down the lyrics and kind of talk about it. Like, we're gonna have a poetry class. And you're all invited. Okay? So, we're gonna do this one at a time, chronological order, in the entire anthology. We just have to do it. Okay? So, let's get things started. Okay, so the first song is Fortnight. It is written by Taylor Swift, Jack Antonoff, and Austin Post, who is otherwise known as Post Malone. So the first verse goes as such. I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me. I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my new aesthetic. All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason and no one here's to blame. But what about your quiet treason? Wow. We're getting into it. The first two lines, I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me, can be alluded to one of her previous songs from Hits Different on her previous album, Midnights. Hits Different was a bonus track on the Target version and eventually went to stream. Basically, she says at the end of her bridge, she says, was that your key in the door? Is it okay? Is it you? Or have they come to take me away? And so we get that allusion from one relationship where she is kind of off and on. This guy is consuming her in such a way. Because they broke up, she would think, oh, they're going to take her to somewhere, be sent away, and to basically go through rehab, but they never came to get her. Basically, that's what she's saying in this song. And then she goes into, I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my new aesthetic. And so basically this is a nod to her changing aesthetics for each album. She's been doing this since forever. I think basically like each album has an aesthetic that it leans into. Speak Now is very fairy tale-esque. Red was very much like a 60s troubadour-esque kind of vibe. 1989 was very much 80s, and so on and so forth. She's changing up her new aesthetic. She's trying to be in such a way. What she's alluding to is being a mirror ball. She's going to show you so many facets of her, which is another song from her iconic album Folklore, Mirror Ball. She's gonna change it up. She's gonna keep you excited, all this stuff. But nobody noticed her new aesthetic because her functioning alcoholism came into light. Then she says, but you're the reason and no one's here to blame. But what about your quiet treason? Alluding to maybe something happened between these two people. She ran into the arms of another lover, but what happened between them after she left her former lover? And then we go into the chorus. And for a fortnight there we were forever. Run into you sometimes, ask about the weather. Now you're in my backyard, turned into good neighbors. Your wife waters flowers. I want to kill her. So this could either mean before the breakup to this person that she's talking to, or after. Very much up for debate. So basically saying our love affair lasted so short, but there's still feelings where whoever he's with now, she just like hates her and wish it was her, but also it's a very conflicted nature. But they're civil now. And then she goes into the next verse. All my mornings are Mondays, stuck in an endless February. I took the miracle move on drug. The effects were temporary. And I love you, it's ruining my life. I love you, it's ruining my life. I touched you for only a fortnight. I touched you, but I touched you. The first part, all my mornings are Mondays, stuck in an endless February, it drolls on. Okay, we know that Mondays, everybody hates Mondays, Garfield hates Mondays. Gets him some lasagna, But Endless February is kind of like, I don't know if anybody is from the East Coast of the US, but a lot of times February is just very droll and overcast. If you live up north, you just know that like it's nasty, there's slushy snow on the ground, all that, and it's no good. So basically she's saying the mornings now are just so uneventful and they just roll on and they're just bland. And then she goes on to say, I took the miracle move on drug, but the effects were temporary. So this could either mean after the first guy she broke up with to go to this guy, this next guy was the miracle move on drug and he was only temporary, so it only lasted for a fortnight, the name of the song. or it's after this guy that she's talking to, and she tried to take the miracle move on drug, but it didn't work. So it's either or. I tend to lean towards the guy that she's talking to is a miracle move on drug from the first guy, and his effects were only temporary. So, and then we go into the chorus again with the same first 4 bars or 4 lines of dialogue, of lyricism, and then we go, and for a fortnight there we were together, run into you sometimes, comment on my sweater, now you're at the mailbox, turned into good neighbors, my husband is cheating, I want to kill him. Now this could obviously mean that she's talking about the first guy, and she's saying like, he cheats on me, I want to kill him, kind of thing. There's a lot of like ways that you can interpret that. Either way is valid, depending on how it applies to you. Obviously, that is what poetry is about. But what we can surmise is that she obviously knew this person prior to the last relationship. There is something stronger in her feelings with this guy. Not stronger, but different in her feelings with this guy. Capiche? Capiche. And then we get into this pre-bridge where it's, I love you, it's ruining my life. And then it goes into, I touched you for only a fortnight, which it's hammering home where this relationship was short-lived, but it was a powerful moment, whether or not that could be good or bad. And then we get into the bridge. I love a good bridge. Taylor's bridges are always really well crafted. Civil engineer, woman of my heart. So she goes into, thought of calling ya, but you won't pick up. Another fortnight lost in America. Move to Florida, buy the car you want, but it won't start up till you touch me. Thought of calling you, but you won't pick up. Another fortnight lost in America. Move to Florida, buy the car you want, but it won't start up till I touch you. So in this album, there's a lot of allusions to places, maybe representing people or times in life. There's an entire song about London, there's an entire song about Florida, and there is talks of something happening in Texas. And so this kind of stretches across the album, and I find it so interesting. I kind of lean towards the fact that these places, London and Florida, are people. Like they're places that represent people that are important in the author's life. Okay, so move to Florida. Florida is very much known for its devil-may-care ways. I don't know. There's just a lot of... It's a mess, okay? Don't move to Florida. Don't do it. This is my PSA right now. Do not move to Florida. It's so hot. It's swampy. You don't feel good at the end of the day. It's just not a fun time. I just don't recommend it. So that's my 2 cents, but let's move on. So Florida could represent for her a place where it's just like so different and it's more thrilling, and there's a lot of things that could happen. Things could go under the radar. You could maybe dig up, or you could probably bury some of your secrets in Florida, which she talks about in another song. But the bridge is basically talking about like, this could be our plan. We could do something fun. We could basically wreak havoc on our lives and do what you want, do what I want, whatever. But obviously the guy who is also being portrayed as Post Malone in the music video and also singing the bridge along with Taylor in this song is kind of giving her like, I want to go back to what we were and we could have all this, but we can't go back to it. Something happened, which we may learn about in this album. But yeah, that is the first song off of the Tortured Poets Department album. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think this is a great song to start off the album, especially with how it enters into this synthesized, melancholic, nostalgic dream almost. Like that's how it feels like whenever it starts up. But yeah, it's a great song, a great duet with Post Malone. Always love his music, so let's go on to the next song.